So guys, you're watching Michiel. This is going to be a very important topic that I wrote down a couple of days ago, um, and I will try to explain it. I have pieces of paper, although I do not wish to talk about it as much. Okay, let's say you are a river. If we just think about like that, we are source. We have a connection to source, and we are the river. You see a river behind me, and what we are is the river. So we are the connection to source, and there is a lake as well, and you are essentially that lake as well. And if you put your attention on that, like for example, if you have that lake and you visualize that all of these streams come down, and these streams are essentially what you put your attention on. And from the big lake, from the big lake is like where you go. Like that's where you have all kinds of streams. From that mountain lake, there are all kinds of streams that lead to who you are. And we are all, our connection to source is very unique. We have, all of us have the most unique relationship with source as anyone else. And through that connection, we have skills, for example. And that is maybe what the soul is. It is essentially the connection to the source. It's the what do we call it? The divine river, maybe. There are a lot of things trying to mess with your connection to source. A lot of things. Because if we just for one moment just accept that there are maybe things that are not being told or are not being real or not like real or are being hidden from, is that there are things we don't know that they are there. So those things can affect us. And if we do not accept them, at least what you can do is know that they are maybe there and know that you're maybe affected by them. Because if you do not accept it at all, that is a potential reality, let's say, then you're just missing out, and maybe you are then being affected in ways you do not want to be affected. So let's say that the universe full of wonders, right? That's what we all say. That's what we all accept in one way or another. Only school and everything is very like limited. It's very like telling us like this is reality. That's it. You know, it's very dramatic. The news is very dramatic. So I think if everything is so dramatic, there's wars and everything. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's not put our attention on that. But let's say if everything's so dramatic, I think what I will say right now is not as dramatic as all of those other things that the media claims and tries to put, you know, okay, let's put that aside because it's not important. It's not important in what I'm trying to say. We essentially are energy. Plants have energy, everything is energy in a way. If we just assume that, then why would there not be a possibility that there is energy that we cannot see? Like who has to say that energy can only be inside a physical object? Like truly physical, something we can touch, smell, or see. Who says that is true? Can we see the wind? No, we cannot really see the wind. But it is still energy. Can we see there's a ton of, okay, can we see sound? Can we see music? Well, maybe some of us can, who have like extra sensory things. I don't know, they maybe, those are examples of energy. It is energy. Sound is a form of vibration energy that we cannot see. Now let's say there are energies that we cannot see but are affecting us in ways we do not actually want or are undesired. If we just, wind, is it beneficial? Maybe. Is it helping us in some ways or another? It's just all kinds of energy. It's all like, okay. And then there's the thing of maybe those energy messing with your connection to source. We all are in one way or another connected to the source. And maybe there are energies that do not want us to be connected to source. Because if we do, we maybe become, we may be having too much of a positive effect on the world. Because we're really aligned. And that is something I will just read now from a piece of paper, because I think I've made a good point now to read this. Let's say this is source right here above. The river from you to source, so you have a river, from you to source is the connection you have to source. In normal and natural circumstances, you have a great or extraordinary connection to source. So a big strong river, or maybe even a waterfall, from you to source, the connection you have to source is exactly what makes you so special. Although you as your own source, we could make all different kinds of comparisons. The lake or your own source being your body or your own consciousness or your consciousness. The unique capabilities you have as a soul is contained through the connection you have with the source and your own lake. So you have the source, you have the river, that is your connection with source. That's where possibly all the capabilities are. And the lake, that's like your being here right now on earth. For example, that is just your body right here on earth, we could say. You possibly as a kid were very pure, but maybe that changes over time. If you want to get rid of, now we're gonna really get into it, that's what I have been explaining, and the point is, the fact that the word even exists maybe already has a connotation that it is highly possible. So we just right now are just gonna accept it for now, so we can accept it as some type of research or whatever. It doesn't matter, because if you do not believe in something, you're never gonna find the truth. At some point you have to believe in something. If you do not believe it, you will never find truth. You will never look into it or something, Okay, here comes the word. If you want to get rid of demons, you need to cut off your stream towards them. Like turning the water to blocked off. You as a soul maybe have multiple streams leading towards multiple places, things and people. Many energies have lots or simply don't have that connection to source. Many energies have lost or simply don't have that connection to source. Then what you have in the beginning, they could be very nice, trying to seduce you, just so you give them attention. But once you have realized they are nasty waters, or not pure waters with no value or actual connection to source, they can start to become incredibly hostile, mean traders attacking you as another means for you to pollute your own waters, because that's how you become a possible frequency match to them in the first place. All you have to do is cut it off. Cut the waters and have you feel source, possibly through meditation, with new crystal white waters. It's all mental. It's all that you can use to fulfill whatever it is you seek to take your streams to. We could say, if we just assume it's real, that you have streams towards demons, essentially, or energies. You have streams, you have your source, you have the connection to source. There's your big gigantic lake, and then you have streams going everywhere. The point is, if you have a stream going somewhere, that's essentially your attention. It's water, right? And that is where an energy or a thought can come up. And here comes the thing. Many times, sometimes we get strange thoughts. These thoughts climb themselves up through a stream where you are in connection with. If these are thoughts that come from a lake that is dark and dirty, it makes much sense as to why you even get those thoughts or feelings or sensations. Then there's this video of a guy that talks about a kid that was drowning. I don't know if you have seen it on the internet, but essentially he said, I would have cut off my foot so I wouldn't have drowned. That's maybe the same thing. We could
pick up the phone at 6 o'clock. He goes, oh, I gotcha. I fucking gotcha, ain't I? I said, Charlie. He goes, hello, mate. How you doing? I go, I'm good. He goes, what's going on? And I thought, and I just split up with my girlfriend at the time. And I thought, oh, well, do you know what? I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to fucking tell him straight because, you know, break the ice. He goes, Tom. I go, yeah. He goes, do you remember the floods? Oxford. He goes, yeah, the floods. Do you remember the floods? Yeah. He goes, do you remember that boy who got his foot stuck in the grate and the river kept rising? And he kept rising. And he kept rising and eventually they tried to get him out but he drowned. Yeah. He goes, well, that wouldn't have happened to me. Right? He goes, do you want to know why? Yeah, sure. He goes, because I'd have said, cut it off now. Sometimes, yeah, you've got to cut a little piece of yourself off, no matter how much it hurts, in order to grow.
Say that the river is rising and rising. That is maybe even the bad thoughts you have, or it's the bad energies, you know, that are consuming you just because you found yourself there. And if we look at it from an etherical point of view, or I don't know why I say etherical, but just from an energy point of view, right? Wind we cannot see. There are many energies we cannot see. Why not energies like that, you know? He said, I would have cut off my leg or cut off my foot so the boy could live. That's a video of this guy talking about, I think it was Tom Hardy or something like that. So that is quite the same what you gotta do. If something is messing you so much with you till the end, you are losing or have no conscious connection to the source, you have to cut off the water, the flow of consciousness. You have to cut off the water, you have to cut off your flow of consciousness that's going there. Because that is what they want. They need the attention because they cannot live on their own energy reserves. What might hurt is that source itself is cleaning out your pool of sources. So it might hurt a bit after you've done that because you're getting cleaned. Your pool, you know, is getting cleaned of source consciousness itself, and that might hurt because source, once you decide to cut off the murky streams, it shall clean itself for you. But that's only when you decide to cut off your water stream. Because if there is no water flowing, then they essentially they got nothing. Because that's what they need. You are their only energy reserves. Yeah, I think that was it. I don't know how I can explain this better. I think many people that's it. There's no much more. I think it was a really good video, and yeah, okay. See you guys.